welcome to the Sierra region of California and Nevada. Today we're going to go on an extreme hike up a rugged canyon that's full of rock slides and big boulders. Super dangerous, and I will say I will not recommend going up there, and I'm requesting that no one try to go up there. I went up there for you so you don't have to. But it's got some fantastic views overlooking Hawthorne and the surrounding granite mountain formations there. And to give you an idea how dangerous that hike is, I actually fell 3 times. I mean, it fell hard, like if you fell in the bathtub and out of control. I fell 3 times. I didn't break anything. The first time I fell, well, I've got these Nordic walkers. I really love these. And I've had these for 18 years. They're kind of cool because you can pull off this little booty and you got a spike for the snow and ice. But I'm glad that this broke instead of my arm, because that's what happened. I've had these almost 20 years. So that gives you an idea what this hike is like. So it's very beautiful up there though, and it should be interesting and fun. I don't think I can pass this and film at the same time because that ledge right by the ditch is about a foot wide, not even. Well, this is where I literally decided to ditch my bicycle in this ravine. There's Mount Grant, 11,300 feet. We're gonna go to the left, see where that H is. We're going into a side canyon. In that wash leading up there to the Angel's Portal Vortex, there's been flash floods in there. I had an interesting conversation with one of my neighbors who's a native of Hawthorne, Nevada, and he's a well-known Army veteran in the community here, and his name is Gene, and a lot of people know probably who I'm talking about. But I tried to get him to do an interview, and he wasn't feeling up to it. So he sent me a picture from about 1959 or 1960, and it's showing that time period when he told me this story. And what happened was he had that little scooter that he had, and he was out somewhere. Like I said, he's not here to do the interview, so I'm trying to remember the best I can. But he said he was out somewhere out in town, and he saw a flash of light all the way across the other side of Hawthorne. So he got on his little scooter and he went over there to check it out, and went up on the side of the wash by the mountain. And he said there was a big flow of mud. There must have been a big thunder burst up there. And so up in the mountain, it had rained really heavy. It caused a flash flood. He said that actually there was somebody in a small car. He wasn't killed or injured, but somebody in a small car, I guess the mud flow was about 2 feet deep, and it pushed the car somewhere. I don't know, no one was hurt, but he said it's pretty spectacular. And if you look up there's some huge, towards the desert, which is common in Nevada, there's some huge logs from some of those pinyon pines that grew up on that ridge there that get washed in all the way from the top. They grow up in the high country. I would say it's about well, Hawthorne's about 4,300 foot elevation, so it's about somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000 feet is where I was at the time when I went on this hike. But anyway, so that canyon's known for flash floods, and so if you're in there, you're not gonna make it because it's pretty narrow. So all in all, it's just a dangerous place to be. You can see where it changes from this wash and brushy sagebrush to a higher elevation where there's trees and these big stone cliffs up in there. That's where we're going. See what I was talking about, how crummy it is with these big deep washes full of thorns? That keeps a lot of people from going up too far. So this is a rarely visited area, even though it's so close to Hawthorne. Of course, people with their four-wheelers come out here, but they can only go so far. There's a little horned toad lizard. He's sunbathing. I've been sitting watching this horned toad lizard for a while, and we're getting comfortable with each other. He's starting to go to sleep. His eyes have been closing recently. Can barely see him. His camouflage is so good. If you look real closely on his coloration, he's got a stripe of orange down his side that matches the same orange on the lichens on the rocks around here. Perfect camouflage. And I think these are ant eaters. They eat ants, and I've seen quite a few ant hills this morning coming up here. And this is the second horned toad I've seen this morning. Well, let me tell you about the Angel's Portal Vortex. I had a strange incident. I won't go into detail, but the first time I went up there last year, when I got to the steep part of the canyon, up towards the top, there was a high cliff and a small rock fell and it hit the first ledge. It made a big racket. It sounded like it was something bigger than it was. But I looked up and the sun caught it and it came crashing down in there and made the biggest noise and the biggest racket. It was almost like a warning to stay out of there. I think the worst thing about this hike though is just all these thorns in this stream bank. Well, it's just the laws of physics. It's just a matter of time before that big boulder ends up in this dry stream bank. Really got to watch your footing in here. A lot of loose rocks and thorns. It's just a rock slide waiting to happen in here, so you have to go really slow. There's a fresh tree that's been smashed to smithereens. It's sitting in the creek bed. That's looking out towards the desert to the east. But I've been working out because I can see the only way that someone's going to get in through here is if they're in shape and using some real power when you need it. I'm not kidding. These rocks are loose and there's very few handholds and footholds. You really have to be in pretty good shape. I wish I was in better shape, but I'm doing all right. Well, there's a loose boulder that gave way, and luckily I didn't break any bones, but it broke my Nordic walker. See it? I don't want to break it all the way because I still want to try to use it a little bit, but luckily I didn't snap a big bone, but one of those big rocks I stepped on, it moved. I knew it was going to be risky coming up here, but that's the price you pay. At least people know where I'm at. Terry in town knows I'm up here, and my neighbor next door knows I'm up here, but I can come back tonight. Oh man, I don't want to cause an avalanche in here. Shit. Look at those rugged trees and that twisted, gnarled root. Man. Between the wind and the lightning, the rocks falling, pretty tough spot. Well, it's beautiful up here and rugged, but I'm coming up here so you don't have to. Like I said, don't come up here. These rocks are loose. There's a lot of boulders that have recently fallen, recent trees where the leaves are still green. It's very unstable up here. I'm surprised I haven't had some rocks come down while I've been here today. The last time I was here, I did have some small rocks come down, and it was like a warning not to come up any farther. So like I said, it's beautiful though. Beautiful Nevada, but rugged. And make no qualms about it. I'm in danger's way right now. It's very, very unstable in here. I think some rocks have come down this winter for sure. Oh man, I can't resist. I got to go up there just to the edge of the top. I promise I won't go any farther. So that's the golf course down there at the Army base, the munitions depot. Hawthorne would be to the right of that. You can see the bunkers out there in the desert. There's Ryan Canyon. We've gone up there a few times. And we went across up over there on that ridge to see the lake. No, it's steeper than it looks. I'm not kidding. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that cleft one more time. It's way up in there. Oh no. know, it's about maybe 85 feet. I'm gonna have to scramble over those big boulders there on my way up. Ooh. Well, I'm glad everybody could join me on my little adventure up here on the side of the mountain. It's amazing. So coming down that Angel's Portal Vortex, it was really tricky. There was a lot of big loose boulders, and I didn't really notice going up how bad it was. But pretty much the whole way down, it was new loose boulders. You could even see how fresh they were, and they were covered with like grit and sand and chunks where they broke off. So even climbing up there and climbing back down, it was difficult because granite has some good, you can get a good grip on granite because it's rough, but it was so slippery. It's like trying to walk on marbles up there. It was just horrific. Anyway, coming back down is kind of interesting. I got a big chunk of granite. It was about 2.5, 3 feet long, a meter, and I was standing on it. Before I stepped on it, I said, do I want to step on this or not? I said, well, I'll try. So I stepped on it. It actually went down the hill a little ways, and luckily it stopped. But I was mad at myself. I said to myself, man, I've got myself in a situation. I thought it'd be kind of foolish being up there, but I don't think I'll go up there for another 2, 3, 4, maybe 10 years, maybe never. And I hope nobody else goes up there either. But it is beautiful up there, and there's a lot of wildflowers and beautiful little singing birds. Have a cute little song that they live up in those cliffs up there. I think they feel protected up there, and so it's very beautiful and beautiful views, beautiful temperature. But with all the rain we've had, there's a lot of loose uh, riprap and granite, and I'm just lucky I didn't cause an avalanche to get stuck in there. I thought I might get stuck in there and get covered up in some rocks or get my leg pinned or something. So I'm just glad to get out of there. I'm still tired from that one. But anyway, it was fun though. I hope you enjoy it. I could scramble up to the tippy top. It would take me about 15 minutes. But sometimes when you know you can do something and you don't, is when you really have the power over something. And Like I said, I have nothing to prove. I'm sure the view is better up there, but the view here is fantastic too. Well, I made it past that section, and now I gotta go down into there. Let me step out over this boulder, get a little bit better view. It's a recent slide. See the chunks, how new they are? The shards? See what a mess I've got myself into? Look how loose they are. You can't even step on them. See?